Okay, I'm again taking benefit of the YouTube Live app, and I've actually just completed my day's work and I'm headed home. But I thought I'll just record a video. One of my viewers actually asked me this question. The question was, does land rate ever, just does land ever lose its value? That was the question he asked me. So I'm going to respond to that. Land can lose its value. It is possible for land to lose its value, and even though many people think that land is a solid investment, it is an investment that is hard to liquidate. Many people don't realize how hard it is to liquidate land. I'll give you an example. Right now, one of my friends, he has a property that is worth at least 3 crores or more. So that's a lot of money. And what has happened is his land is currently, it's under dispute. So even though the evaluation for that land is over 3 crores, there has been a dispute in that land and he cannot liquidate it. He needs money right now, but he can't do it because it's in dispute, it's in the court. The court has frozen the sale of that the land, and that is in dispute. So as of now, the value of that land, there is a lot of potential value, but the value of that land is not much. So that's a potential problem, that's a big problem. So despite this, there are other ways also land can lose its value. Land can actually lose its value by, just think about it, if you are not able to sell your land for this reason or any other reason. It could be that, example, a land has no water and a land has certain issues like that. It will be hard to sell it. Example of this would be in some parts of Maharashtra, there was land rates really high, but now the land rate has fallen down because there is no water there. You cannot do anything, and it's a struggle to live there. So that's the reason why you can't sell that land. It had a lot of value before, but now there is no value in that. So you have to be careful with land. Land is good for long term. Technically, if you look at it, land will do good in the long term, but that also, there has to be an asterisk there. There has to be a star there that says, sometimes there could be a chance you could lose the value of that land. So be very careful with land and how you invest into land and all of the details about land. When you're purchasing your property, be sure that you are purchasing a solid property. Even with that, there can be problems, but at least you know that it's a good property before you go into it. Another way, you can be just make sure that you have done a lot of research. And if you are just looking for a short term, that is like 2 years, 3 years, land is not good. For 2 or 3 years, I would suggest something like stocks, or there are so many other ways that you could make more money, and not more money maybe, but you could liquidate it much easier. So be careful when you are investing into land. Land does lose its value. There is a chance that land can be it might be hard to sell, it might have problems. Another thing that you have to consider is, example, now I'm standing next to, the car is actually parked next to a big house right now. It's on the way to my home. It's not my home, but someone's home. Now if you ask that person might say that this property is valued at $1 million, or like I want 5 crores or 10 crores or whatever crores, he will put a label on that. Is that rate right? What you have to understand is it's supply and demand. Only if you can find a buyer for it, that is, if a person is willing to pay for it at that rate, then it's worth that much. You can ask any rate you want. I can say that this car is worth $1 million, or I can put any rate to it, but that's not its true value. The true value is what a person is willing to pay for it. So be very careful when you do these kind of things, and be very careful when you are investing into land. Make sure you do your homework with land. It is very important. And another thing that you have to look at is make sure that you are making sure that the land is solid, there is no disputes, there are no problems with the land. All of these things, if you have followed it, then technically you shouldn't have any issues. But if you have not followed these steps, your investment is dicey at first, on the first day itself. Even if you have followed these steps, these are problems that can come later on. If today a certain land is worth so much, and tomorrow there could be some problem in that entire area, there could be a recession also. Another thing that you have to consider is, what if there is a recession? Supply and demand applies to land, and what if you can't find a person who will pay that much for land? So your potential value is really high, but you can't find anyone to pay that much for the land. What happens then? What happens is, whatever is the value that a person is willing to pay for that land right now, that's the value of that land. It's never what it was, or never what it's going to be. If you can sell it at this price, whatever the X price is today, that's the value of that land. I hope that this actually clears the question that the viewer had sent to me, and I hope that you got some or the other information from this video. And I thank you for all the viewers, and stay tuned. I will be posting more often. The reason I'm not posting regularly now is because, as I told you, as many of my viewers know, I'm working on a new venture and it is keeping me really busy. But I'm promised that I will be putting more time into YouTube soon. I'll try to do YouTube live regularly, because this is actually really convenient, because I don't have to do any editing, I don't have to do anything. I just have to take my phone out and record. So this is actually really good, convenient. But of course the quality won't come as much as the normal videos. I will try to do the normal videos in my home studio also, or in my office studio, and let's see if that helps. So if you have not watched this video completely, I think some of the viewers have joined right now. You can just go back and watch this video, and I've gone through all details. I'm not going to stay on more because there's not much to discuss anymore. I've already gone over all the points. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. If you have any topic requests, leave them in the comments below as well. Like, share, subscribe. This has been Jamie for TopEvt. I'll see you in the next video.